Stephen, how's everyone recovered from the Wellington game? It was a bit of a physical game. How's everyone pulled up?
Yeah, we've had an opportunity to deload a few people and look after the ones we need to look after, and then turn up the heat on a couple others. So it's been good.
9-day turnaround as well, a bit of extra time, and you don't have to travel as well. How is that helping with the recovery, and particularly given a couple of players, you said last week were 50-50 for the game. Some of them did play in the end. How's that extended rest helped?
It's a tremendous help. And then obviously back-to-back home games is a huge help as well. Gives us an opportunity to get people closer to where we need them to be, and hopefully at some stage we'll be 100% fighting fit.
Are there any kind of injury clouds out of that Wellington game?
Not particularly. Like Bronte had like a bit of a calf issue, but she's been all cleared, so that's great. But no, other than that, everything's okay. Naomi's got an injury, but it's not related to that game. It's related to the Melbourne Victory game. So we're getting a second opinion on the scan and see where we go from there.
Obviously, the defensive effort was much improved against Wellington. How do you go about ensuring that's not just a blip and that's the new normal instead?
We've got to find that consistency, definitely. It's something we're yearning for. It's important to us. Now that we've got that feeling of what we can produce with that type of effort, hopefully everyone feels as though they're compelled to do that. There's a commitment there from everyone. So that's what we're looking for. And we believe that if we do that, we put ourselves in any contest against any opponent. So,
defensively, now you've set that foundation, how do you bring about improvement in the attacking facet of the game? Obviously, it was a bit of a backs-to-the-wall effort against Wellington, and they do have a lot of talent going forward. But how do you guys now kick on and ensure that you've got that connection between defence, midfield and attack, and you're creating more goal-scoring opportunities?
I think it's probably an energy thing. I think we probably played a little bit too frantic, which was obviously hugely beneficial in defence, because I feel like that was a real weapon for us. But obviously with the ball, we've got to learn to settle and play the football that we know we're capable of producing. There's been good moments this season where we've played some good stuff, so we just have to trust that. In the attacking phase, I think it's a confidence thing. We just need to maybe find that performance that brings that out of a couple of key personnel, and then I think the confidence will build off the back of that.
When you look at the first 2 weeks of a season, when you scored 5 goals across the first 2 games, Roller and Gabby were really getting involved, really important focal points for you.
Yep.
Do you think as a team you guys have gone away from anything over the last few weeks that you can go back to? Because they haven't had the same impact on the game from a 90-minute basis.
Yeah, I think the first 3 games, they were quite lively, those 2 players particularly. I think the only games where we really struggled were the Canberra and Melbourne Victory games. But if you look through those games, if Wainwright scores the header against Canberra at 2-0, it's 2-1. If Lincoln scores that little cutback against Victory, it's 1-1. So I think it's just about moments, and then taking the moment and then building confidence off the back of that. So if you saw after we scored the goal on against Wellington, I feel like we lifted a gear. We got a second win, so to speak. And I think everyone was sort of just hoping that we'd get the breakthrough, and then you saw what it did to everybody. So I think for us, it's not to overthink it. We know we've got quality in the final third. We've just got to put them in better positions to score.
And you mentioned last week Adelaide aren't coming over here to give you guys a hug. What are you expecting from the Reds?
I think Adelaide, as far as I'm concerned, have always been a very physical team. And I think they've probably got a good memory of the game we played here at Sam Kerr last year. So they definitely got that in their IP there. So I think they'll be bringing that to the table. Look, I mean, I think their game against Melbourne Victory on the weekend was a much improved performance. I think they'll be a lot happier with that defensively. They looked a little bit more solid. So yeah, they're going to be coming here to compete and try and play for 3 points, as everybody is. So we've got to be ready for that. Like, the reason I made that comment about Adelaide not coming here to give us a hug is we can't be complacent because we won one game and then just think the next opponent's going to be easy beats. Like, it just definitely doesn't work like that. Not in this league. Everyone's competitive from last to first. Anyone can beat anyone on their day, and we just have to make sure that we're having more good days than bad.
Just on that, Stephen, the fact that Adelaide have only won the one game, but it did come against ladder leaders Canberra, does that just lean into what you said in terms of the...
Absolutely. It does. You know, if you look at that game, you know, they didn't just beat Canberra, they really beat them on that day. Like, they made Canberra look ordinary on that particular day, and then Canberra's won 4 in a row off the back of that loss. So, yeah, it really is on the day, but I think Adelaide have always been a competitive team. And if you look at, you know, they finished bottom the year before and then last season finished third, you know, so they're quite a resilient group as well. So, you know, you've got to pay respect to that.
And just finally, mate, Teresa Morrissey was a standout on her long-awaited debut last weekend. As someone that's put a lot of faith in her, bringing her across and giving her this A-League opportunity, how pleasing was it to see her, I guess, reward that faith with that kind of performance?
Well, I think, like, for me, I just wanted to make sure that she had the performance that I know she can produce, and I wanted that for her as well. And that's what she gave everybody. The thing with her is she's always going to give 100%. Sometimes she gets her wires crossed with a couple of things, but you can see she's all guts. And I think that's an infectious thing to have. And hopefully it rubs off on some of the defenders, which it seemed to do in that game, that previous game. So she's a well-respected person with the peers. And, you know, for me personally, I've had a bit to do with her, and I'm super proud of that, her debut game, but she knows and I know it's just one game, and hopefully she can keep doing it because she's definitely got it in her locker. And I'm just proud that everyone gets to see the player that has been busting her gut to make a debut in this league.